Title: The Shepherd and the Giant, based on 1 Samuel 17, retold for storytelling. Once upon a time, in the green hills of Bethlehem, there lived a young shepherd boy named David. He was the youngest of 8 sons in the house of Jesse. While his older brothers went off to war, David remained in the fields, watching over the family sheep. But David was no ordinary shepherd. He had a heart like a lion and a faith as steady as a mountain. When the nights grew cold and the wolves howled in the darkness, David would stand between his sheep and danger, armed only with his staff, his sling, and his trust in the Lord. He would sing to the stars, strumming his harp, writing songs that spoke of God's greatness, power, and mercy. He knew God not just as a name, but as a friend, a protector who never slumbered, a shepherd greater than himself. Meanwhile, trouble stirred far beyond the hills of Bethlehem. Across the land, the Philistine army had risen against Israel. They were strong, loud, and proud, and they came with swords, shields, and a champion unlike any other, a towering warrior named Goliath of Gath. He was more than 9 feet tall, clothed in heavy armor that gleamed under the sun. His spear was like a weaver's beam, and his shield was so large it needed its own bearer. Every morning for 40 days, Goliath stepped into the valley of Elah and thundered a challenge. "Choose one man to fight me. If he defeats me, we will become your servants. But if I defeat him, you will become ours." And every morning, the army of Israel trembled. Even King Saul, the tallest man in Israel, hid in his tent. Not a single soul dared to step forward. But one day, David's father Jesse sent him to the battlefield, not to fight, but to bring food to his brothers and check on their well-being. David packed bread, cheese, and grain, slung his bag over his shoulder, and hurried toward the front lines. When he arrived, he saw soldiers hiding behind rocks, whispering in fear. Then he heard it, the deep, terrifying voice of Goliath as he mocked Israel and defied the living God. David's eyes narrowed. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he dares to defy the armies of the living God? He asked. His oldest brother Eliab was furious. Why are you here? You just want to watch the battle. Go back to your sheep. But David turned away and kept asking others. Word of the bold young shepherd spread quickly until it reached King Saul. David was summoned to the king's tent. He bowed respectfully, but spoke with the confidence of someone who knew his purpose. "Let no one lose heart because of this Philistine," David said. "I will go and fight him." King Saul looked at him bewildered. "You are only a boy. Goliath has been a warrior from his youth." David's voice was steady. "I have kept my father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came to steal a lamb, I went after it. I struck it and rescued the lamb from its mouth. The Lord, who delivered me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear, will deliver me from this Philistine." Saul was silent for a moment. Then he nodded slowly. "Go, and the Lord be with you." Saul offered David his armor, but it was too big and too heavy. David could barely move. He shook his head, took off the armor, and picked up what he knew best: his staff, his sling, and 5 smooth stones from a nearby brook. And then, with the eyes of 2 armies upon him, David walked alone into the valley. Goliath saw him coming. At first, the giant laughed. "What is this? A boy with a stick? Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks and stones?" David didn't flinch. He raised his voice so all could hear. "You come against me with sword, spear, and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. Today, the Lord will deliver you into my hands. The whole world will know that there is a God in Israel." The valley went silent. Then Goliath roared and charged forward, but David didn't run. He reached into his pouch, pulled out a stone, placed it in his sling, and with a swift motion, he let it fly. The stone sailed through the air and struck Goliath right in the forehead. The giant stumbled, then fell face down, crashing to the earth. Goliath was dead. The Philistines gasped and fled in terror. Israel's army let out a mighty shout and pursued them, gaining victory through the courage of one shepherd boy. And David, he became a hero that day, but not for his strength. It was his faith that made him mighty, a boy who trusted God more than men, who remembered that even lions and giants are no match for the hand of the Lord. Years later, David would become king of Israel. But long before the crown, he wore something more powerful, the heart of a servant and the faith of a warrior. And so the boy who once sang to sheep became the man who led a nation. And his songs, his psalms, still sing through the ages.